would like to introduce the first panel. The panel is the need for an Aatmanirbhar housing society, a smart, sustainable, healthy and compliant. I would like to invite Mr. Subhajeet Mukherjee, Catch the Rain, and Ambassador for Majhi Vasundhara Abhiyan. Would like to also invite Indrani Malkani, who is the Chairman and Managing Trustee for We Citizens Action Network, also known as We Can. Mr. Dalvi Sahab is already introduced, so he's there in the panel. Yes, Dr. Hemlata Arora. Yeah, so Dr. Hemlata Arora will join us. She is the MD, DNB Medicine from Nanavati Max Superspeciality Hospital. And Ashika Sripathi, who is the COO for ADDA, which is a society management app. And to moderate this panel, I would like to invite Shrikant Parab. And Shrikant Parab is the Director for Asia Affairs, Delta Groups Holding. And he's also a secretary of a very well-known and an ideal Aatmanirbhar society. I will not do a lot of talking about the society. I will leave it to Mr. Shrikant Parab to take this forward. So, Mr. Parab, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everyone. I think I would like to start with this event by thanking the organizers. This is very, very important. Awareness is very important. Unless and until we are aware of what's happening, I think it doesn't make sense in doing anything. So knowing or understanding the whole concept is very, very important. And when this organizers actually contacted me, and they actually started in COVID period. It was online session. We were actually trying to bring so many people and spread awareness about the waste management, etc. I think I must say that Shaurya, he has been consistently working on this particular program. He contacted me. We had a long discussion. He tried to understand what exactly is the issue, and they started designing this program. This is their first in-person program. They have been doing a lot of online talk shows, etc., etc., and we have been part of that. I'm very happy and glad to be a moderator for this first session. Before I start the session, just to set the tone for this particular program, I would like to say that our own society, Shatadal, which is located in Andheri, we have started doing this back in 2014. 1 full year, 2013, was spent in convincing our managing committee and members to start this activity in our society. But in 2014, we succeeded. And I'll just tell you what we have achieved so far. I think we have so far saved almost we have processed 340,000 kg of waste in our society using biocompost and vermicompost process. We have so far prevented 484,000 kg of waste from going to the dump site. We have generated more than 45,600 units of electricity using solar panels. We have we have actually saved almost 4 lakh rupees in our society by installing these solar panels, because every month we save, there is a saving in our electricity bill. Break even is almost 4 years, and after that it's all profit, right? So we have so far planted more than 750 saplings in our society. Every year we plant 25 saplings of various species of plants. We have used 3,000 running feet used pipe when we were doing this our repair work. That pipe we use for plant irrigation system. So we have saved that, and now we are putting timers so that we are going to save a lot of water, Subhajeet ji. So we have done that. 2 lakh liters of water we have saved so far by putting just a single bottle of water into the flush tank. because flush tank is normally, once we flush it, it's like it flushes almost 12 liters of water every time, and that 300 ml bottle makes big difference when we count the heads or we count the number of flushes, etc. uh, so there are so many things which we have already done. Our society has received many awards, and we have got many benefits from it, from our MLAs, from our MPs, from our corporators, etc. So I think that sets the tone. We all have, we have done in our society all these activities which we are going to discuss today. That is conserving natural resources like water. Then we are managing our own waste. Mr. Dalvi has already spent a lot of time discussing, and many years I've been hearing him. A lot of time he has spent on awareness programs. Then, of course, the solar energy. We have about 3 plants of 3 kilowatt hour each in our society, and I think that we are benefiting out of it. So definitely, you all will also benefit. Then go green is also a mantra. Then, of course, uses of technologies in today's world, it's very, very important, so manage the societies, administration, etc. Focus on wellness. I think health is equally important, and that is what we are going to discuss. And then, of course, compliance of the society. I mean, as per the government norms or authorities norms, we have to follow all of them, so that in future, when we talk about redevelopment, self-development, whatever it is, we don't face any difficulties. So I think these are the topics which we are going to discuss. Dr. Ramesh Prabhu has already explained to us about the compliances part. But now let's start with the panel. I think I have set the tone here for the meeting. And then let's discuss one by one. We'll take opinions from all these people. We are running a little late, so I would suggest all panelists to, mind the time. Of course, you have to cover all the topics which you are supposed to, but yes, please keep that in mind also. So, Indrani, Malkani ji, first question, I'll start with you. Okay, and why do you think, do you think, and if yes, then why you think this is the right time for societies to intervene and try to become, Aatmanirbhar?
Thank you very much for inviting me to join in the deliberations of today. I think being Aatmanirbhar is a given. It is not negotiable, to tell you the truth. Because ultimately, we have to start, anything that we do in life has to start by ourselves first, our homes, then the premises where we live, our lanes or roads, and then out to the larger area and the city. Then comes the country, state, country, etc., etc. But if we don't do our part, then the start button has not been activated. Having said that, I've been listening, and this is something which I chose to be involved in for more than 2 decades. Mr. Dalvi I have known for more than 2 decades now, so well-known journey for the longest time. These topics have been discussed a lot in the past. It is not that this is the first time. However, for some reason, we have been a little slow in understanding that the buck stops with each one of us. Now, having said that, Mumbai's particular strength, and indeed of Maharashtra, is the cooperative housing society movement. It is pretty unique, and it's extremely strong potential. So if every society gets involved in doing their bit, I don't see how we cannot succeed. In other areas, the societies are pretty vocal and gets involved. What amazes me as to why we have this hesitation, so to speak, to get involved in areas of eco-friendliness or in making ourselves self-sufficient where the green part is concerned. So as I said, to be self-reliant and starting with your own soil, literally, because just yesterday was World Earth Day. Now, we talk a lot We do a lot of awareness programs, but I think an audit is required to know how much of our talk actually penetrates. That is very crucial, because this I say from the limited experience that I have. I wouldn't say it, I'm not saying something which is not out of the blue. You see, the societies, when we talk about planting, I was very happy to, and Subhajeet I have known for some time also, we talk about various plants. Now, societies also need to know that what are the appropriate plants that we need to. When we talk about greening, when we talk about eco-friendliness is a very wide term. We need to see what are the areas that we can get involved in and what will sustain. We can start the initiative, but if the initiative process that we have started is not going to be sustainable, then it's a non-starter again. Because then people lose their motivation and it doesn't take the next step. So yes, not only is it necessary, but the implementation process needs to be known as well. And quite honestly, when we talk about our municipal corporation, I always say it is our BMC. It's one organization which from the time you are born till the time you die, you stay connected. It's our umbilical. And that having been said, when BMC comes forward, then I think it is also our duty, and as an individual I say this, as a member of a housing society I say this, as the pride ALM of BMC I say this, that it is not only possible, but it is very, very doable. It is not rocket science. It's just a question of do we want to do it. We have to do it is a given, but do we want to do it? And then we have to ask ourselves, why are we hesitating? I think we will take the next step when we come to the hindrances, because I think somewhere along, the hindrances need to be identified. Because once we have identified the hindrances, let's find the solution to it. What is a given is not up for discussion further, because I think we have ad nauseum talked about it. But what are the hindrances and why people are reluctant to sustain something or even to start is very crucial. I hope Subhajeet will also agree with me there, because often we have discussed these issues. And societies are the backbone of Mumbai, housing societies. So if housing societies get involved, which they should, 100%, then it will work very well. But we also need to understand the other side as to why the housing societies have hesitation or what their difficulties are. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts.
One small question connecting
Yes.
to what you just said.
Yes.
You have been working for 2 decades into this segment, right? So do you think there is a change now, change happening right now?
Yes, I mean, I'll tell you one thing. You have asked me a very pointed question. So I'm known to be a very outspoken person, and I don't hesitate in laying it out. No point hiding facts. Very often what I do find in civil society, and I have to say it as civil society because NGOs are involved, we tend to reinvent the wheel a lot. And by so doing, we tend to lose energy. Because it's not, as I said, rocket science. We all of us who got involved in the ALM movement, and we happen to be a few who started the whole system going, 2 decades plus, actually it's more than 2 decades. At that point, what we started, we are still going around in circles. So why are we doing that? Awareness is a lot today because there is this focus on climate change. But when we talk about climate change, it's very good to talk about it. But have we really taken stock? You see, the little drops of water is what will cause the ocean, right? So each one of us have something to give over there. Let's not duplicate the work, because then we dissipate their energy. You asked me whether I have seen change. No doubt there is change. Changes have happened, but has the change sustained? That is the question. Now, I would tell my fellow panelist and old friend, Mr. Dalvi, that when we talk about housing societies and we talk about change, the system that was put in place 22 years ago of waste collection, you see what you do at home, a big chunk depends on our partner, the BMC. So if BMC does not do its part correctly, then you have a problem. Okay? Now, as I said, that this is something which is an ongoing process. It keeps going, and then typical potholes come, which is a trademark of Mumbai. So then the pothole comes, we slow down. So I think a smooth road is required from both sides. So that is something I would say. Certainly there has been more awareness. Certainly there is a lot of interest, but the collaborative and coordinating spirit needs a lot more work. That still hasn't happened fully. So that would be my assessment.
Excellent, excellent. I think that assessment was very important for us to know, and I think our partners are also sitting here. So
Oh yes, they are partners with me all the time. Don't you worry about that.
okay.
Only that little bit I have just touched. Mr. Dalvi knows it only too well.
Okay, I think Subhajeet ji, I would like to ask you about your experience in this eco-friendly societies, how to proceed, and of course water conservation is something which is very, very important in today's day. So I think, would you like to share your views on that?
बिल्कुल, थैंक यू सो मच। मैं आप सबको यहाँ बैठ के देख सकता हूँ, एंड आप लोगों का एक्सप्रेशन सबका सेम है, that आप लोग सब यहाँ आत्मनिर्भर होने के लिए आए हैं। क्योंकि कहीं पे आपको लगता है कि आप आत्मनिर्भर नहीं हैं, आपका जो डिपेंडेंसी है दूसरों के ऊपर, अब मैं दूसरे कौन है मैं वो नहीं बोलना चाहता, बट समवेयर यू फील कि दूसरे आपको फेल किए हैं लाइफ में। आप लोगों ने आज तक जो कुछ भी लाइफ में अचीव किया है, आत्मनिर्भर होके ही अचीव किया है। मैं पानी के बारे में आज मेरा विषय है, मैं उसमें काफ़ी स्पेशलाइज्ड हूँ। छोटी सी बात बोलना चाहूँगा, क्योंकि ये बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स टॉपिक नहीं है। ब्रिटिश टाइम में मुंबई MMR रीजन में 3000 से ज़्यादा छोटे छोटे क्लस्टर्स होते थे, लोग कम थे, छोटे छोटे गांव थे, वो सब आत्मनिर्भर थे। इंडिविजुअल क्लस्टर्स, उनकी अपनी जिम्मेदारी होती थी कि हम अपने हिस्से का पानी बचाएंगे बारिश में और साल भर इस्तेमाल करेंगे। ब्रिटिशर्स लोगों ने पाइप वाटर सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस किया। उन्होंने कहा कि आपको आपस में झगड़ा करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है कि तुम्हारे कुएं में कितना पानी है, मेरे तालाब में कितना पानी है। उस समय अनटचेबिलिटी थे, रेसिज्म थे, बहुत ज़्यादा थे। अगर यहाँ पानी ख़त्म हो गया तो आप अपने ही रिलीजन के लोगों के पास जाके पानी लीजिए। उसके लिए पाइप वाटरिंग सिस्टम इंडिया में पहली बार मुंबई में लॉन्च किया ब्रिटिशर्स लोगों ने, ताकि आप लोग घर में रहिए, झगड़ा मत कीजिए, टैप खोलिए, पानी मिलेगा। सबसे बड़प्पन ये है मुंबई का कि इतने छोटे से जगह में जो करोड़ से भी ज़्यादा लोग रहते हैं, ये विश्व में कहीं भी मैनेज करने लायक नहीं है जो BMC करती है। तो प्लीज़ क्लैप फॉर देम, सैल्यूट देम फॉर दैट। बट ये आत्मनिर्भरता चली गई है हमारे पास से। एक तो ठीक है, तय हो गया कि आप टैप खोल रहे हैं, पानी आ रहा है, आप खुश हैं। 1 किलोलीटर जिसका कॉस्ट 20 रुपये है, ड्यू टू पॉलिसीज आपको 4 रुपये कुछ पैसे देने पड़ते हैं, जिसका कॉस्ट इतना ज़्यादा है। वी आर जस्ट पेइंग 25% ऑफ द रियल कॉस्ट ऑफ वाटर विच इज़ इनकर्ड बाय BMC, इसलिए उसकी इज्जत कम है। क्या फ़र्क पड़ता है? हाँ, हम लोग 20 रुपये 1 लीटर पानी पीने के लिए लेंगे, लेकिन सुबह सुबह 20 लीटर पानी फ्लश करके आएंगे। इट इज़ ए क्रिमिनल थिंग। वर्ल्ड्स बेस्ट क्वालिटी ऑफ वाटर प्रोवाइडेड बाय द म्यूनसिपल कॉरपोरेशन जो हम फ्लश करके आते हैं, ये खुद को समझना ज़रूरी है। हमें आत्मनिर्भर होना ज़रूरी है। हम लोग जो 32,000 करोड़ रुपए का बिजनेस है टैंकर वाटर का, कभी सोचिएगा क्यों हम पैसे देते हैं। किसी ने बोला है कि म्यूनसिपलिटी का पानी शायद ठीक नहीं है, तो हम लोग एक मशीन लगाया जाता है, ब्रांड का नाम देना मना किया गया है। एक मशीन होता है, बटन दबाइए, पानी निकलता है, कुछ फिल्टर होके 20-25-30 हज़ार रुपये का वो आता है। ऑफिसेज में पता नहीं टैप का पानी यूज़ नहीं होता है, हर जगह एक बाटला उल्टा लगा के एक मशीन है, अनदर वो 20-25 हज़ार का खर्चा है। कमर्शलाइजेशन ऑफ वाटर इज़ नॉट गुड। बचपन में कभी भी पानी खरीद के नहीं पीना पड़ा है। बट यहाँ आके मैं देख रहा हूँ बाहर भी हमारे कमर्शियल पानी रखे हुए हैं, मेरे बॉटल भी जो मैं कैरी कर रहा हूँ वो भी पैसा दे के खरीदा गया है। इट इज़ अ बिजनेस ऑफ मेकिंग मनी, जिसमें हमें समझना ज़रूरी है, इंडिविजुअली आत्मनिर्भर होना ज़रूरी है, ताकि आपका पैसा, मेहनत का पैसा जो आप आज दे रहे हैं वो कल जाके डबल ट्रिपल और 4 गुना ज़्यादा देना पड़ेगा। इस चीज़ को माइंड में रखते हुए बहुत सारे सोल्यूशंस अवेलेबल हैं, आप अपना खर्चा कैसे कम करेंगे उसको माइंड में रखिए। थैंक यू।
Subhash ji, thank you very much. We'll come back to you again. I think my next question is to Ashika ji. How do you think that technology will play a role in Aatmanirbhar society? What is your view on that?
Namaste, everybody. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers and the audience present here for giving us an opportunity to present here and talk about the vision that we have as a technology partner here for housing societies. So we have been for housing societies ever since the inception of ADDA, and how technology can help is that we believe that technology can become that platform, backbone for Aatmanirbhar, becoming self-sustaining communities. And what we, at the core of ADDA, what we believe is that each housing society is a mini nation in itself. Okay? So all the things, each pocket, each housing society is a pocket in itself, can become self-sustainable, which is what the whole world is going towards, which is what we must be going towards. And technology plays a very vital role here, because that forms the basis for you to, that enables the housing societies to take on these initiatives towards becoming self-sustained communities. Okay? So just imagine each of the housing societies, if they become self-sustained, like what Sripathi told, that earlier we used to have these pockets which was all self-sustained, right? Now we are so much dependent on a lot of things. If we remove that dependency and each of the housing society can become sustainable on its own, there's a lot of change that can happen. I believe that the changes started already, because at ADDA, what we have always been doing is, connecting communities in terms of mobilizing this whole thing of self-sustainability, because we, at the core of it, we believe that, technology can actually bind everything together. And having said that, last month we were there at the Dubai Expo, and what I saw was that all the countries are going towards creating this 15-minute neighborhood, which is called, that is, self-sustainable communities. I think India also, and the government has a policy like this, and at the core of it, in India, it's already existing, but just that we have kind of diversified it, we have kind of become more dependent on the other things. But then it is time to bring back that 15-minute neighborhood, which is like self-sustained communities. Each housing society can again become that. And then there's a lot of talk happening about circular economy, which is like having the economy revolve within the pocket, right? So we do conduct a lot of workshops wherein we bring all the housing societies together in addressing the challenges that are involved in becoming self-sustained communities. Okay. So let me give you an example. In Bangalore, there is one community which completely recycles water. Whatever goes in flush comes out as the drinking water in the tap. So that is self-sustainability. And then, if at all, within the neighborhood, we come up with a system where it becomes kind of a circular economy right there. That will help, and that is where we at ADDA would like to be that enablers, being the technology partner here. With respect to the health, I would like to add that during COVID times there were a lot of challenges involved in managing these housing societies and becoming kind of self-sustaining in terms of managing things, right? So that is when a lot of things came well within the reach of the communities there. The communities were imposed a lot of restrictions of not going out, but that is when we saw the whole thing coming together as a self-sustained pockets, right? So I think we should be going there, and we are very much part of this whole ecosystem, this whole thing, and we're proud to be partnering with a lot of forward-thinking housing societies that are there in Mumbai, across India, Mumbai being the main hub, right? We call it as a Karma Bhumi for us because a Janma Bhumi being background, we started in Bangalore, but then Mumbai has the highest density of housing societies, and we believe in enabling all the housing societies towards that sustainability.
Indeed, that Corona taught us how to use technology, and it has brought the world in one screen, I would say. So yes, it's very, very important. Dr. Hemlata, I think health is something which has been ignored for a long time at the society level. But I think again with Corona, things have changed, and lot of focus is on health of our neighbors and stuff like that. Would you like to share your views on that, please?
So, thank you again for having us here. And, yes, I'm part of Nanavati Max Hospital. I'm a physician at Nanavati. This is a very interesting discussion at this point because this is, I think, is something which will probably be the backbone of Bombay's, health maintenance and emergency care. Now, by the way, I said there are two aspects to healthcare. One is when you fall sick, and one is about preventive care and health maintenance. I think both of these aspects, I think if we're able to do it at the level of the housing society or of the home, it takes care of almost 80% of our worries. We cannot avoid coming to a hospital. We will at some point. There will be some procedures, some treatments that need to be done at the hospital alone. But having said that, there are a lot of things that can be done at the home level or the society level if we are able to channelize our and focus upon the various interventions that need to be set in place. I'll give you a very big example. I'll say it's a big example because it saved a life. I live in a society in Aatmanirbhar, in Calcutta. We do have an AED in our society building. And it is an automatic defibrillator device, and that does a lot of help. We have a placard saying that we have an AED in the building right in front of on the main road itself. And I have been part of the rescue team where we have been able to save a life. There was a gentleman, 50-something, he had run a marathon and come back, and he was stretching and he slumped. One of our other residents observed him slumping and of course relied on the society WhatsApp group. And I'll come to the WhatsApp group, which is probably your area, where we refine this way of communication. So put it on the WhatsApp group if there's somebody slumping over there. And a lot of us were able to rush right away. And the security was asked to go and pick up the AED. He brought the AED over because first of all he knew where it was, he knew how to bring it, he knew how to put it on. And all of the security personnel in the building have been taught how to use the AED, which is another very important aspect. So we were able to put the AED on. That gentleman was shocked twice because it was shockable within. Sometimes it is shockable within, sometimes it is not. And Dr. Deora will explain a little bit more about how to really put our brain around this kind of an aspect. He was shocked twice, and then he was gone. We were doing CPR on him. He was gone. He was shocked twice, and he woke up. And he had a bypass surgery about a week after, and he's back to walking and running at this point. So having a society which is able to handle these aspects on their own, with an AED in place, making sure that all of the personnel, security, housekeeping, other maintenance personnel know how to perform basic life support, basic CPR. These kind of things are really, really helpful because they have a lot of older population living in it's a mixed group. All of our societies have elderly people as well as the people who are going off to offices are not there in the society, and young children. To be able to handle all of this, I think technology and awareness of these kind of things will help a lot. This is about the emergency care. And being able to provide an ECG right there, understand whether this is really a cardiac problem or not. There can be an integrated way of taking care of these things. Then comes the health maintenance, which is regular health checkups, immunizations that can be done. All of that can really be done at society level, so people don't keep putting it off. If you have to go to a hospital or a health center, most people put off taking care of that aspect, especially if it is preventive and it does not come on our head just now. So if you're able to provide a scheduled systematic way of health checkups as well as immunizations and preventive things, that would be very helpful. Gyms and of course swimming pools and all these things are of course helping keeping up our health in a much better way. And I see that a lot of them are very well used and well taken care of. Trainers have become extremely professional and proficient in their work. All of that is happening, but only I think in small pockets where it can happen at the city at large.
Thank you, Dr. Hemlata. I think my next question is to Mr. Dalvi. He has already answered the question, but I would still want you to elaborate certain things on that. This is when we talk about Aatmanirbhar society, we definitely want some assistance from the corporation. And currently, I think they are doing it by providing this 15% rebate on this other various activities that society manages within. So, but we saw that the process is very slow. I mean, when we approach BMC corporations, we don't get the proper response sometimes. We have to run around in various departments. For example, rainwater harvesting system. Multiple departments are involved in getting the permission. That permission only for 30 days, valid for 30 days. If you don't do it, then you have to go through cycle. What do you think that corporation can do to shorten this process or make it friendly for the citizens or the societies to proceed?
विले प्रारंभ 15 तारीखला सडनली एक कॉल कांदिवली ईस्टमध्ये कोण ऐकतं कांदिवली ईस्टमध्ये कॉल येतो आणि एक फॅमिली आहे हजबंड वाईफ राहतात त्या घरामध्ये आणि हजबंडला मासिक अटॅक येतोय आणि तिच्या मदतीचा कोण नाही. लकीली ते त्याची हाऊसमेट सर्वंट होती, त्यांनी जे काही सिक्युरिटीवर म्हटलं त्याला कॉल बिल केलं होतं तोपर्यंत त्याला काही त्याला हे होईल. तो नंबर जो होता तो कमिशनरकडे गेला. कमिशनर इमिजिएट मला कॉल केला, मी सांगितलं असं झालं आपल्याला ताबडतोब त्यांना हेल्प दे. वॉर्ड ऑफिसर त्याला सांगितलं इमिजिएट जी इन्फॉर्मेशन पाहिजे. मी जस्ट मला मुद्दाम एक्झाम्पल देतो सगळ्यांसाठी जायची. मी विलेपार्ल्याहून कांदिवलीला जाईपर्यंत त्याला काही वेळ मला कमीत कमी अर्धा जाईल माझा. पण अर्ध्या तासामध्ये मी काय करू शकतो हे मी ऑब्झर्व केलं. तर आमच्याकडे पूर्ण मुंबई शहरामध्ये आपण बघितलं असेल आमच्याकडे जवळजवळ 850 लोकल नेटवर्किंग असलेलं संस्थांचं नेटवर्क आहे. त्याला आपण म्हणतो दत्तक वस्ती योजना पूर्वी बोलायची, आता त्याचं नाव आहे स्वच्छ मुंबई प्रबोधनालय. हे जे अभियान चालतं आहे त्याच्यामध्ये 750 ते 850 संस्था काम करत आहेत आणि 9,500-10 हजार कार्यकर्ते आमचे प्रत्येक एरिया बेस आपण बघितलं पूर्ण मुंबई शहरामध्ये. की जस्ट एका तिथल्या नियर बाय एरियाला कॉल केला की असंच आहे इमिजिएट म्हटलं त्याला सोसायटी जायचं आहे, त्यांना तिथून म्हटलं आहे तसंच पिकअप करायचं आहे. नियर बाय हॉस्पिटल असेल त्याला तेव्हाही करायचं नियर बाय म्हणजे शताब्दीचं पण हे नाही वाटेमध्येच बिल्डिंग माणसाचे डेट झाले. त्या ती जी लेडी आहे हजबंड समोर केलेलं आहे त्यांनी काय समजत नाही काय करायचं काय नाही. फक्त तुम्ही एक नंबर दिला होता त्याच्या ह्याच्यामध्ये की आम्हाला एक रिलेटिव्ह आहे ते आणि त्या रिलेटिव्ह स्टेज ॲट कलकत्ताला कॉन्टॅक्ट करणं काय करणं ह्या ज्या गोष्टी त्या दिल्या. पण तोपर्यंत पोलीस स्टेशनला कॉन्टॅक्ट करणं, तोपर्यंत हॉस्पिटलला कॉन्टॅक्ट करणं, हॉस्पिटलमधून त्याच्यानंतर त्याची सगळी प्रोसेस पूर्ण करणं ह्या ज्या गोष्टी जी आहेत. माझं म्हणणं असं आहे की प्रत्येक सोसायटीला आत्मनिर्भर व्हायचं असेल या सगळ्या ह्याच्यामध्ये शासन करायचं असेल तर ही सगळी SOP जी आहे जी कोणीतरी सोसायटीच्या प्रत्येकाने तुम्हाला येणारे प्रॉब्लेम तुम्ही एक सर्वे करून द्या. मी महाराष्ट्र सोशल फेडरेशनला विनंती करेन की तुम्ही रँडमली मला 200-500 सोसायटीची सर्वे करा की कोणता वॉटर असेल तर वॉटरमध्ये काय प्रॉब्लेम नाही, इलेक्ट्रिकचा प्रॉब्लेम असेल, विविध सेक्शन तुमचे रेनवॉटर हार्वेस्टिंगमध्ये वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट तुम्हाला हे प्रॉब्लेम्स आहेत. तुम्हाला काय वाटतं काय करायला पाहिजे तुम्ही सांगा. त्याच्यानंतर ते जे तुमचे जे आउटपुट असतील त्या आउटपुट्समधनं टोटल एक सेंट्रली कॉर्डिनेट सिस्टीम काय करता येईल का तर त्याच्या संदर्भामध्ये मी आयुक्तांचा ओळखी असल्यामुळे मी डायरेक्ट त्यांच्याशी बोलू शकतो, सांगू शकतो. काही गाईडलाईन्स आपण फ्रेम करून त्याप्रमाणे त्यांच्या मान्यतेने आपण सगळ्या ठिकाणी पाठवू. दुसरी गोष्ट जी आहे की प्रत्येक वॉर्ड वाईज त्याच्याकडे दर महिन्याच्या 4थ्या शनिवारी आपल्याकडे मीटिंग होते वॉर्डमध्ये. त्याच्यामध्ये त्या भागातले ALMs वगैरे जे असतात, ॲक्टिव्ह जे ALMs असतील किंवा ॲक्टिव्ह कार्यकर्ते आपले जे असतील किंवा आपल्या ज्या बचत गट आहेत म्हणजे संस्था आमच्या जे काम करतात, आपल्याकडे समोरचं आपण बघितलं असेल तर या ठिकाणी काही जरा उभा राहून जरा आपल्याकडे अश्विनी बोर्डे म्हणून आपल्याकडे संस्था चालक आहे. आत्मनिर्भर काय असतं त्याचं उदाहरण त्या राहतात कांदिवली ईस्ट बघा, ते कांदिवली ईस्टमध्ये राहतात, कांदिवली वेस्टमध्ये राहतात. कांदिवली वेस्टमध्ये चाळ सिस्टम राहते. त्यांची चाळीमध्ये साधारण संपूर्ण एरिया आहे, 500 घरांचा एरिया आहे. त्यांनी डिसिजन घेतलं की आमचा एरिया आपल्याला मुंबई महानगरामध्ये आम्ही शून्य कचरा करा. आता लोकांना एकत्र पहा, सोसायटीमध्ये लोकांना एकत्र करणं सोपं आहे, कारण ते तुम्हाला काय म्हणतात मॅन्डेटरी आहे, नोटीस दिली का यायचं काय नाही. इथे झोपडपट्टीमध्ये चाळीमध्ये ती सिस्टीम नाही. पण त्यांनी तिथल्या महिलांनी एकत्र आल्या, त्या 7 महिला एकत्र आल्या, त्यांनी त्याचं एक बचत गट स्थापन केलं. त्याचं नाव आहे स्त्री आस्था महिला. त्या बचत गटाने प्रत्येक घराघरातल्या लोकांना इन्व्हॉल्व केलं, त्यांना ट्रेन केलं, त्यांना वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट फक्त विषय घेतला आणि लहान मुलापासून सिनियर सिटीजनपर्यंत त्याची एज्युकेशन लेवल त्यांना कोणी पेमेंट देत नाही, काय नाही द्यायचं. पण त्यांनी लोकांमध्ये एवढी प्रेरणा आणली की लोकांना त्यांनी 2 डस्टबिन परचेस करायला लावले त्यांच्या पैशात. एवढं इझी नाही, 9 दिवसाचं 10 दिवसात टाकतो. तर 10 दिवसामध्ये त्यांनी ते केल्याच्या नंतर पुढचा जो सक्सेस स्टोरी जी होती की सॅग्रिगेशन, की त्यांनी त्या सायमल्टेनियसली लोकांना शिकवली. सॅग्रिगेशन झाल्यानंतर पुढे काय करायचं, कंपोस्टिंग करायचं. जागा कुठे, जागा नाही आहे, तर ते टॉयलेटच्या पाठीमागे थोडीशी जागा असते, तेवढी जागा बघितली. त्या जागेमध्ये ह्या लोकांनी पूर्ण 400 फ्लॅट, 400 चाळीचं 500 चाळी आहे, त्या 500 घरांचं कंपोस्टिंग करतात. केवळ त्या रगडापाड्याचा एरिया आहे, त्या भागामधला सगळ्याचा सगळा कचरा झिरो गार्बेज करतात. 20 रुपये कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन ते प्रत्येक घरातून. किती? 20 रुपये कॉन्ट्रीब्युशन. तर 20 रुपयामध्ये तिथल्या बेरोजगार मुलगा असेल त्याला एकत्र केलं आहे आणि त्याला त्यांनी ते ट्रेन केलं. तो फक्त डबे ठेवतो, कचरा जमा करतो आणि तो ओला कचरा जमा झाला असेल तो सुद्धा ह्याच्यात कॉम्पोस्ट पीटमध्ये घेऊन जातो. आणि त्यांचं स्वतःचं त्या बचत गटाने कल्चर डेव्हलप केले, आस्था कल्चर नावाचं. ते कल्चर वापरून संपूर्ण ती प्रोसेस आज ते पूर्ण महाराष्ट्राचे कन्सल्टंट बनले. आत्मनिर्भर काय असतं तर चाळीमध्ये राहणारी एक मुलगी, तिला काहीतरी वाटतं की आपण परिवर्तन करायला पाहिजे. त्यांनी त्या लोकांना ऑल कंडिशन्समध्ये भांडण आहे सगळं आहे असं अशात काही लोक एकत्र आले. त्यांनी त्याच्यामध्ये त्याचा स्वतःचा ठसा उमटवला आहे आणि त्यांच्या पूर्ण मॉडेल प्रोजेक्ट सगळ्यांनी केलं. तसं त्यांनी त्यांच्या स्वतः सोसायटी एक्झाम्पल दिलं. ग्रीनफील्ड सोसायटी कोण आले का? डॉक्टर राहुल चव्हाण आले का? डॉक्टर राहुल चव्हाण आपल्याकडे ग्रीनफील्ड सोसायटीमध्ये आहे. त्या ग्रीनफील्ड सोसायटीने जेव्हा एकदा सुपर मॉडेल प्रोजेक्ट बघितला, सुपर मॉडेल बघितल्याच्या नंतर ताबडतोब एक इन्स्पायर झाले. काय व्हॉट इज द सुपर मॉडेल? काही नाही, स्मार्ट कंपोस्ट सिस्टम, ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंग. जे कचरा ओला कचरा कोकणामध्ये निर्माण होतो त्याचं खत बनवायचं. त्या खतावरती तिथे त्यांनी ऑर्गॅनिक फार्मिंग म्हणजे माय कोकण असं ते डेव्हलप केलेलं आहे. आंबा, फणस, चिकू बिकू सगळं तिथे बघायला मिळतं आणि ते गिव्ह बॅक टू द नेचर. म्हणजे ते खाण्यासाठी वापरत नाही, ते पक्ष्यांना. त्यामुळे त्या छोट्याशा पार्टमध्ये पुष्कळ व्हरायटी ऑफ बर्ड्स बाहेर ते त्याने जे केलं स्त्री आस्था महिला बचत गटाने ह्याने बघितलं. ह्यांनी त्यांच्या 400 फ्लॅटची सोसायटी, ग्रीनफील्ड सोसायटी, अंधेरी तर बघून या आत्मनिर्भर काय असतं. त्यात चांगलं एक्झाम्पल जाऊ शकतो.
बरोबर.
तो मुद्दा एक आहे. तर त्या पद्धतीने आपल्याला झिरो गार्बेज मॉडेल केली. त्याच्यानंतर सोसायटीमध्ये डिस्प्यूट असतात प्रत्येक ठिकाणी. त्या डिस्प्यूटमध्ये प्रत्येक वेळी BMC, प्रत्येक वेळी पोलीस, प्रत्येक वेळी ह्या गोष्टी आल्याच आहेत. व्हॉट SOP वी कॅन नाव त्यांनी SOP तयार केली की प्रत्येकाचे कोणते प्रश्न येतात, काय त्या सिरियसली कोणते प्रश्न आहेत, सोसायटी प्रश्न कोणते, लिगल प्रॉब्लेम कोणते, काय. त्यांनी त्यांचं एक्सपर्ट त्या सोसायटीमध्ये जे लोक आहेत त्यांचे एक्सपर्टीज लोकांना एकत्र केलं आहे आणि त्याची त्यांनी टीम बांधली आणि त्या टीमच्या माध्यमातून आज बघा त्यांनी जेवढे पेंडिंग केसेस होत आहेत कोर्टापासून ह्याच्या सोसायटी त्या सगळ्या त्यांनी सॉल्व्ह केलं. कोणाकडे लिगल प्रोसेस आहे त्यांनी आत्मनिर्भर बनले.
From the question that you asked, may I share
Yeah, sure.
little bit about it? See, every municipal ward has got a citizen facilitation center. It would be good if we keep using that center because that is supposed to do the entire coordination for any issue that's a one window clearance. You asked about the runaround that
Right.
you would get for a permission. So I think it would be a good idea if all who are present here make sure that for whatever issues your society or individually you may have, please visit your ward office and use the Citizens Facilitation Center. Since we are here under the roof of Aatmanirbhar Society, taking with you from here, Mr. Sanwa, perhaps I may suggest to you, to the organizers, and of course to my old friend Ramesh, Prabhu, that every society can give their feedback as to what is happening when they visit the Citizen Facilitation Center with their issue, and if they are being sent around on a runaround, etc., and what are the problems they are facing. On behalf of the Citizen Action Network, which works with the government in partnership, I'd be happy to take that up and make sure, because we work in the sphere of policy, because for the question you asked has to be a coordination. It's not that it is not there. For some time ago, regarding rainwater harvesting, for example, there was a very active cell, and the officer was Suprabha Marathe. Much, how should I say, as Mr. Dalvi is passionate about segregation of waste and its processes, Suprabha Marathe was to rainwater harvesting. For some reason, the rainwater harvesting cell in BMC has lost that, it has not lost, I would say, but somewhere along people are not fully aware of it. But we need to reactivate it. It's not that it doesn't exist, it does. But let's start using the facilities. Problem is that when our civil society does not use a particular area, it somehow gets into a, okay, it's in a corner.
So we need to spread awareness about that cell also.
Yes.
When people don't know about it. And
exactly. Now you see, that would be your one point when you have, now for example, if you're looking at waste, usually anything to do with the waste management, what would you do? Everybody, because the waste smells, no different from a high rise to the slum, right? That's one equalizer I always maintain. So similarly, if you know about waste, you will go to the ward office, meet the solid waste department, etc., etc. But rainwater harvesting, you don't know. Solar panels, you don't know. So start using the Citizen Facilitation Center and put your questions there. Get that window working. It would be a good idea to know which of the municipal wards are weak in responding, in coordinating. It need not be made public, because the idea is not to put the BMC, our partner, on the map. It doesn't help. There are too many issues. So do share, and let's see if we cannot resolve it. I do believe that change always happens.
Yes.
That's also a dilemma.
Thank you very much. Actually, we are running out of time, so there were a few more questions, but I cannot take them.
Adding to Citizen Facility Center, there is one post of complaint officer in each ward. तुमचे जे काही प्रश्न असतील ते कंप्लेंट ऑफिसर वॉर्ड ऑफिसरच्या बरोबर बाजूला बसले. तुम्ही त्यांना जाऊन भेटला आणि त्यांना जर तुम्ही सांगितलं तर तुम्हाला ते प्रत्येक डिपार्टमेंट कॉर्डिनेट करून देते. सीएफसी जे सिटिझन क्रायसिस सेंटर जे आहे हे तुमचं जे टॅक्सेशन बिल किंवा ज्या काही हे सगळे डिपार्टमेंट करायचे ते वन विंडो खाली दिलेलं आहे. जे हेल्थ बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट पाहिजे असेल तर तिथे त्या काउंटरला द्यायचं बर्थ सर्टिफिकेट असं. पण कॉर्डिनेशन करायचं असेल तर कंप्लेंट ऑफिसर तिथे आहे. आणि दुसरा जो आहे तुमचा इमिजिएट जो तुम्हाला अवेलेबल मनुष्य जो आहे तो तुमचा ज्युनियर ओव्हरशी, हे त्या सेक्शनचा घनकचरा व्यवस्थापन सॉलिड वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंटचा ती चौकी असते, त्याचा ज्युनियर ओव्हरशी तुम्ही जर त्याचं कॉर्डिनेशन असेल तर ही इज द नोडल ऑफिसर टू कोऑर्डिनेट ऑल द डिपार्टमेंट डे टू डे ऍक्टिव्हिटीसाठी प्रोजेक्ट ते करू शकतात.
Abhiyan, we are running out of time. आपलं panel actually fix होतं, त्यामुळे we are really sorry that we cannot accommodate time for your views. But from the panelists, I would like to have the last word and the message to the society, and then we'll end this session because next guests are waiting, panelists are waiting for their session. Okay, so I think Ashika, I will start with you. Your message last, maybe a 1 minute message to the audience.
audience.
Okay. So being from the technology background, what I would say is that housing societies. We believe that the housing societies must be stable on what we call a SAFE. SAFE. SAFE means security, stability, okay, administrative stability, financial stability, and environmental stability. I think if all these 4 parameters are taken care in a housing society can very much become Aatmanirbhar. So we are there at ADDA. We know this world very well. We have been in this world very well, and we do understand the challenges that housing societies and management committees go through in achieving this. So we are there as a strong backbone for you all, and let's make this happen.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Ashika. Thank you. Ma'am, please.
Last words are never a good idea. So, no, but I would say that societies are the backbone of Mumbai's strength, and therefore all societies, big or small, medium or in whichever locality, can easily become Aatmanirbhar. Just that the will has to be there, and all of us pull in our resources surely can make the difference. We are there committed. I would request all societies to actually take charge of themselves. It's an honorary job for the managing committees. It's an unenviable task as well. But making your ward office, your municipal ward office, your local police station, your best friends is a brilliant way of getting all your problems resolved. Having said that, please let us look to having greenery in your society, however small, in your flats, in your lobbies, big or small, and certainly in the compound and in the neighborhood. But for God's sake, use indigenous plants. Do not import anything, because that's where we go a lot wrong. Because we believe that, I don't believe, Subhajeet will tell you, the soil has to be conducive for a plant to survive. So think of what you plant, not because somebody else is doing it somewhere else. And our very own things are there to be proud of, not always importing. Let's do what we have, and we have a lot.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Subhajeet, last. I think we'll. Yeah. After this particular session, maybe you can contact ma'am and you can take or Subhajeet will be able to help you.
Yes.
Okay. And we will also be able to help you. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Dalviji.
मी तुम्हाला या ठिकाणी मुंबई महापालिकेचं एवढं आश्वासन देतो की कुठच्याही वॉर्ड ऑफिसमध्ये आपण आपले प्रश्न घेऊन गेला आणि त्या ठिकाणी आपल्याला जर प्रॉपर कोऑर्डिनेशन मिळालं तर मी माझा नंबर तुम्ही लिहून घ्या. मला तुम्ही तुमचं नाव, तुमच्या सोसायटी, तुमचा प्रश्न काय असेल तर शॉर्ट मध्ये म्हणजे व्हॉट्सअपवरती आणि तुम्ही कळवलं तर निश्चितपणे मी संबंधित त्या विभागाचे वॉर्ड ऑफिसर पर्यंत तुमचा मेसेज मी पाठवण्याची व्यवस्था करतो. एक दुसरी गोष्ट जी आहे की मी पुन्हा सांगतो, आपला घनकचरा व्यवस्थापन डिपार्टमेंट हे आता त्या वॉर्डचं PR डिपार्टमेंटसाठी काम करतं. त्याचं डायरेक्ट सोसायटीशी तुमच्या कचऱ्याच्या निमित्तानं कॉर्डिनेशन असतं. तुम्ही तिथल्या सेक्शनचा जो ज्युनियर ओव्हरसियर असेल त्याचा नंबर आठवणीने घ्या. त्याच्यानंतर तिथला जो असिस्टंट इंजिनियर किंवा AHS असतो, असिस्टंट इंजिनियर SWM किंवा असिस्टंट हेड सुपरवायझर म्हणजे घनकचरा व्यवस्थापन, हे 2 अधिकारी जे आहेत त्याच्यानंतरचे, ह्या दोघांना तुम्ही पर्सन जाऊन भेटा आणि तुम्ही तुमचं जे इंट्रोडक्शन देताना तुम्ही सोसायटी झिरो गार्बेजचा कॉन्टॅक्ट चालू करा. आणि ते करताना मला ह्या थोडी मदत पाहिजे, मग पाहिजे असं तुम्ही जर चालू केलं तर इमिजिएट तिथल्या बसल्या जागेवर ते असेसमेंट असेल, मेंटेनन्सचं काम असेल, सुरेश डिपार्टमेंट असेल किंवा आणखी डिपार्टमेंट, या सगळ्यांची तुम्हाला मदत हे लोक तुम्हाला देऊ शकतात. तिसरी गोष्ट जी आहे की आपल्याकडे काही कंप्लेंट असेल 1916 हा टोल फ्री नंबर आहे. चौथी गोष्ट जी आहे, आपलं ट्विटर हँडल आपला मुंबई महापालिकेचा आहे, त्या माझी मुंबई महापालिकेचे BMC ट्विटर हँडल आहे, त्याच्यावरती तुमचे जो प्रश्न असेल तुम्ही बिनधास्त टाका त्याच्यावर, त्यात काही हे नाही. त्याच्यानंतर तुमचं जे काही हे असेल फेसबुक आमच्या फेसबुकवरती पण तुम्ही करू शकता. आणि व्हॉट्सअप बूट नाव जातं आपलं जे आहे चॅटबॉट, व्हॉट्सअप, तर त्याचा बेनिफिट सगळ्यांनी घ्या. म्हणजे तुम्हाला समजेल की खरोखर बीएमसी काम करते नाही करते. जे मला प्रश्न आहेत ना, मी तुम्हाला सांगतो बीएमसी खूप काम करते, फक्त बीएमसी प्रेझेंट करत नाहीये किंवा प्रेझेंट करायला कमी पडते, असं माझं स्वतःचं मत आहे. अदरवाईज कोविडमध्ये जे काम झालंय, बीएमसीने जे केलंय, ज्या पद्धतीने काम केलंय, त्याला कोणीही चॅलेंज करू शकणार नाही.
बरोबर.
तर त्याच्यामुळे तुम्ही आणि आम्ही लोकांचा सहभाग असल्याशिवाय मुंबई शहर स्वच्छ होणार नाही किंवा मुंबई शहर आदर्श करू शकणार नाही. आणि म्हणून तुमचा एक हात आणि आमचा हात एक हात, असं दोघांनी म्हणून आपण पुढे जाऊया. आणि काही असेल तर आम्ही तुमच्यासोबत नंबर घेऊन घेतो. मी म्हटलं लक्ष आहे की नाही बघा, म्हणून मी नंबर मुद्दाम. हा सुभाष दळवी, ऑफिसर ऑन स्पेशल ड्युटी, घनकचरा व्यवस्थापन स्ट्रोक स्वच्छ भारत मिशन, 9833578999. पुन्हा मी सांगतो, 9833578999. आपल्याला काही माहिती पाहिजे असेल तर म्हणजे युट्यूब वरती पण काही हे आहे, सस्टेनेबल वेस्ट मॅनेजमेंट नावाचं युट्यूब आहे, सुभाषदेव टाका, आपल्याला त्याच्यावर बऱ्याचशा काही चांगल्या गोष्टी बघायला मिळतात.
क्विकली एक बहुत खूबसूरत एग्जाम्पल आप सबसे शेयर करूंगा, क्योंकि वाटर मेरा प्रायोरिटी. सभी के वाटर बिल्स काफ़ी आते हैं. नागपुर में हमने कोशिश किया है बीएमसी के साथ मिलकर कि इंडिविजुअल वाटर मीटरिंग इंस्टॉल किया जाए. उनका 70 फ्लैट स्टे मतलब है अभी भी, एंड 3 लाख उनका बिल आता था बीएमसी का पानी का, प्लस 1.5 लाख टैंकर का बिल आता था. 4.5 लाख जब हुआ, सोसाइटी में बहुत डिस्कशन हुआ, इंडिविजुअल वाटर मीटर्स लगाए गए हैं. आज उनका बिल 1 लाख से 1.25 लाख रुपए आता है. They are saving more than 60% of their water bill. Individual water metering आप ट्राई कीजिए, it will be a surprise thing. आपको अगर विजिट करना है सोसाइटी, अमीशा कोऑपरेटिव हाउसिंग सोसाइटी, चारकोप सेक्टर 8, प्लॉट नंबर 8. आप कभी भी जाइए, आपको सरप्राइजिंग रिजल्ट्स मिलेंगे. इनफैक्ट आप में ही इतने से एक बैठे हैं, इनफैक्ट पैनलिस्ट में भी ऑल ऑफ देम आर ग्रेट एग्जांपल्स उन्होंने क्रिएट किया है. एंड लास्ट एक नंबर आपको दे रहा हूँ, जो सर भी मेंशन कर रहे थे, बीएमसी और व्हाट्सएप पे अवेलेबल है. आपको अथॉरिटीज रियल जो रिस्पॉन्सिबल है, तुरंत आपको व्हाट्सएप उनका नंबर मिलेगा, ईमेल एड्रेस मिलेगा, आप मोबाइल उनसे बात कर सकते हैं. कोई भी डिपार्टमेंट हो बीएमसी रिलेटेड, ये व्हाट्सएप नंबर है 8999222899. I will repeat 8999222899.
It's a chatbot.
आप आराम से इनसे डिस्कस कर सकते हैं. 24 घंटा सर्विसेज अवेलेबल है एंड एवरी मोमेंट ये अपडेट होता है. अथॉरिटीज जो भी ऑफिसर है उनका डायरेक्ट मोबाइल नंबर आपको मिल जाएगा. आपका काम बहुत इजी हो जाएगा. म्युनिसिपैलिटी से रिलेटेड काम हो तभी मैसेज कीजिएगा, म्युनिसिपैलिटी का नहीं है तो मत प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट कीजिएगा. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very useful information. Thanks a lot, ma'am. Your turn.
So, like I said, awareness about what are the possibilities in health maintenance that can be done at the society level is very important. Training and support is also very much required. We at Nanavati Max have a separate vertical for helping out and supporting housing societies in Bombay. So we'll be very happy to consult on what are the possibilities in the particular society. I mean, every society cannot have a medical room or cannot have everything there, but we can probably support with a lot of training in terms of basic life support training, what to do in terms of first aid. A lot of these things can be done in the society, provided there is some kind of initiative from the society itself.
Thank you very much. I really thank the organizations for giving us the opportunity to discuss this very important topic. Shaurya and Laram, all the best for the rest of the event and congratulations. You have done an excellent job. I think round of applause for them. I have seen them growing. I mean, they started with during COVID period. Please, आगे आइए.
सारंग मेहता
hard working and doing excellent job. Thank you all the panelists. I think we have taken little extra time, so please excuse us organizers, but thank you very much for your contribution. Yeah, thank you.